Hello and welcome to Sessions at StudioM.com, an online audio recording school, and Sessions at Studio M's YouTube channel. My name is Michael Mon, the audio instructor for Sessions at StudioM.com. And today is week number 3 of our weekly series of our audio recording tips. And today we are going to discuss the kick drum or bass drum, depending on what you want to call it. The reason it's called a kick drum from some people is when the trap kit first was started, there were no pedals to actually make the bass drum sound, so people physically kicked it. So some people call it the kick drum, some people call it bass drum. Both are correct. I call it the kick drum just so that I don't get confused with the bass guitar. It's just something that I've done over the years. But technically, either would be correct, and it's up to you to decide what you want to call it. I'm calling it the kick drum, but we're going to discuss the preparation to record the kick drum, and then we'll show you a few things that you can do to record the kick drum. All right, what we have here, we have a standard 22 by 16 kick drum. It is a maple drum set. It's a Tama Artstar 2. Yes, I am a little older, and this is a slightly older kit from Tama. But it's something that I've had for years and years and sounds wonderful and done hundreds of recordings with it. But we're going to prep how to tune this thing so that we can get the best possible drum sound, or the best sound that I can get out of this particular drum, which sounds pretty darn good. First thing we're going to do, we put the head on. I like it to have very little tension to it. So I tighten these to where they're just tight, and then I will go with a mallet and hit close to each lug. And as I do that, I'm listening for any differences in the tuning. Listening for differences in tonality, and I only heard one that was slightly. I take that back there too. So there's one that I need to loosen just a little bit. And then this other one, I need my trusty drum key and loosen just a smidge. And I like to use a mallet. This happens to be just a combo drumstick mallet. You can use the stick to accomplish the same thing, but I tend to, since I use a mallet or a beater on the kick drum, I tend to like the mallet. And I do the same thing to the other side. We won't show you that just for time, but I will flip the other side over. The other side, the only difference is there's a hole, so you can't quite match all the tuning. So as you can see, we have some muffling in there. I have an Evans EQ pad and an Afghan that my wife's grandmother made. It's been in my drum for about 12 years now. And what I like is I like the EQ pad to hit the batter head, and then the Afghan to touch the outer head. And if you notice the light coming through, there's a hole, and it's just a small hole on the outer drum. Some people prefer to not have a hole. Some people prefer to have a much larger hole in the center. I like the slightly offset hole for my playing. The feel and the reaction time tends to come back. I also like the feel of no hole, but when you're recording a rock drum, it's hard to get some of the definition without using a ton of microphones that you can get with a mic that has or a drum that has a hole in the head. So, and then you'll notice my beater is a wood beater. I tend to find that gives me just a little more punch There are the hard plastic beaters, different things like that, but the wood beater or a hard plastic flat surface beater, the more mass you can actually have hitting the drum head, the better the sound, or the more clack you're going to have to it, but it's also going to sound solid. So I like the wooden beater that I have. All right, so we're back. We're now going to be placing the microphone. Now what we have is a standard kick drum mic. It's an Audix D6. There are many other microphones. Shure has some, AKG. I happen to have this Audix. I really like it. And you'll notice I'm on a short boom stand. It's definitely a great investment for recording drums. Having 3 or 4 of those around is really nice. It helps you get into your snare drum easy, record the kick drum. Really actually good on guitar cabs and stuff like that. Also a high quality stand is preferable, especially when you have a mic that weighs a little bit. If you get this extended, it will definitely topple over on you. So having something that has a heavy base, like this Atlas mic stand, is a good thing. Now, when I mic this particular kick drum, I like to get the mic just inside my hole. And it's the width of the microphone inside the hole. I find for this particular kick drum, that gives me the body, the smack, everything that I want out of the sound of this kick drum. And we're running the microphone directly to a Mackie 1202 with no EQ, and I'll smack it a couple times, and it's coming directly to the camera. There's no processing, no nothing, so just so you can get a chance to kind of hear what it does. And then I'll move the mic in a little bit closer to the head, and that'll give you a chance to hear. As it's closer to the batter head or the beater head, then you'll be able to hear the difference. Okay, so now I'm going to move this mic in a little bit further and get it closer to the actual. We're going to be about 6 inches off or so. Thanks again for viewing our video. My name is Michael Mon for SessionsAtStudioM.com and Sessions at Studio M's YouTube channel. Sessions at Studio M is an online audio recording school. If you like any of the information in these videos, feel free to visit SessionsAtStudioM.com. This particular topic is covered in classes 2, 5, 8, 9, 10. Most of the classes cover things to do with drums. But in particular, we have class number 5, which is a drum microphone technique, and it'll give you more in-depth information on what I covered today. We're just scratching the surface of recording a kick drum, and just showing you just some real basic information on recording that kick drum. So again, thank you. My name is Michael Mon. This has been Sessions at StudioM.com and Session at Studio M YouTube channel. Thanks for viewing.